This class is concerned with leadership styles. Now, there are certain qualities an individual must have to be an effective leader or manager. In a sense, not everyone can be a good manager or a good leader. There are certain qualities that are prerequisites that some people have, and that's what distinguishes them as good managers or good leaders. For example, they should have good communication skills, the ability to communicate at all levels within the organization, communicate with workers and with middle management and even senior management. The leader should have the ability to motivate individuals in his or her group. It's important that the group see the leader just as that, as the leader. They should see the leader as someone who motivates them in their daily activities, in their work. And it's also important to be able to work under pressure to ensure that the job is completed on time and that deadlines are met. The leader should also be able to foresee goals and ambitions and has the desire to achieve these. So he or she will have their own goals and objectives that they want to meet in their own career. They should be able to meet those, but they should also be able to see the goals and objectives of the organization for which they work and be able to or try to meet those objectives as well. So it's the capacity to see what's required and try to meet what's required. The manager should not abuse his or her position. They should be able to use their authority effectively. They should respect the workers, they should respect their colleagues, and they should be able to complete the tasks without causing ill will or problems or causing distress amongst colleagues or workers. So the authority that they have should be used properly. They should also be knowledgeable and make correct decisions. At the most basic level, they should understand the tasks confronting them. And they should be able to make effective decisions which are useful and which will solve the problem and will meet the deadlines that have been set. So, effective leaders are successful in their roles due to their personality and training. There is a debate in psychology as to what makes the individual. Is it nature or is it nurture? Is it nature? In other words, is it our genetic makeup? Is it us as people, what we have inherited from our families? Or is it our environment, our training? So that debate goes on. It'll probably never be resolved, but that debate carries on. Effective leaders should have a blend of both good personality and thorough training. So they should have the personality to enable them to work as a part of a team, to motivate their colleagues, to work effectively in the work community, and also have the training to complete the tasks, the technical training, and also the personnel training, the training to deal with people, as I said just a moment ago. However, all leaders are different and adopt different leadership styles to suit their organization and their colleagues. So there isn't one type of leader that's most effective in all situations. Leaders have to fit in to the organization in which they find themselves. They have to fit into that environment. They have to work with what they've got. They have to work with the resources. They have to work with the people that are in place. So there is not one style of leadership that's effective in all situations. It's important that the correct leadership style is used within the organization. Clearly, it's the case that a leader or a manager who has the wrong leadership style within the organization is going to cause friction, is going to cause problems, who will be not effective in meeting the aims and the objectives of the organization. They won't meet deadlines, or they may cause disputes with colleagues or with line workers. So the correct leadership style is an imperative for efficient working. Now there is a distinction to be made here between leaders and managers. For a start, the leader, this is an individual who has the ability to inspire people to follow him or her. That's the idea of the leader. It's someone who inspires his or her colleagues to follow him or her. They have the capacity to influence people. They're the ones who set the vision, the new direction. They inspire and they motivate. These are our primary traits almost of the leader. That's what leaders do. They inspire, they motivate, they set the direction. Now the manager, well, the manager controls and directs people to get the job done. The manager takes the direction, takes the inspiration from the leader, and then tries to operationalize it, tries to get the people to work to get the job done, to translate the aspirations into output. A manager's role is to plan, coordinate, organize, control, monitor its team or subordinates. So monitor the team of the organization or the teams of the organization, to coordinate the teams and to organize them, to control them, and to see that the plans that were set out by the leader or the manager who's in charge, to see that those plans are implemented. So if we look at the leader-manager distinctions, well, the leader innovates, whereas the manager tends to administer. The manager looks after what resources there are and tries to marshal the resources to meet the visions that are set out by the leader. But the leader innovates. The leader is the one who changes practices, changes the product, changes the market. The leader develops new ideas and visions, whereas the manager maintains and controls ideas. So the leader's coming up with new ideas and new ways of doing things and new ways of working. The manager is the person who maintains and controls the ideas. So the manager implements what the leader thinks. The leader is more people-focused and concerned. So the leader looks at people, looks at the customers, what do the customers want, and tries to empathize with the customers, tries to see what the customers want, what will make their lives better, what changes to the product can be introduced. Tries to look at the workers and tries to see what functions they're performing and how they can be better improved, and which will improve the life of the workers as well. Whereas the manager is concerned with controlling people, controlling the organization, trying to get the organization to function in the way that's required. The leader is concerned with individuals, or I should say they are concerned with individuals, but they themselves are also individuals. The leader looks at the customer as an individual, tries to relate to them, looks at the organization, looks at the workers and tries to relate to them to try and get best practice. But they themselves are also individuals. with their own views and their own ideas. So the leaders they're independent almost of the routines of the business. They have a very liberated mind in the way they think about the product, think about the market, and the way they think about the future. The manager, on the other hand, is a copy. There are many managers. They all have the same ideas, the ideas of controlling the business, trying to optimize the resources of the business in the light of, or in view of, the aspirations and the pronouncements and the policies developed by the leader. This is an old adage, this one. It says, number 5, it says the leader does the right thing, whereas the manager does things right. That's often quoted in textbooks. Yes, the leader tries to do the right thing. That could be developing the product, making some innovation to the product, innovation to the market, changing work routines or whatever. And the manager does things right. The manager takes the rules that are set out, takes the vision, and tries to implement them correctly. So leaders see the bigger picture. Managers are more narrow and focused on the task. Leaders take in the wide picture. Managers focus in on specific tasks to try and get those tasks completed. So the leaders originate. They originate ideas, they originate concepts about the organization in terms of its future. They have visions about where the business should be in so many years' time and how the business will achieve that. And they also look at the product and try to innovate the product. The managers try to take good practice and imitate the good practice. So as we can see, there are quite distinct differences between a leader and a manager. They are different people. In fact, they're radically different people. Kurt Lewin, his framework suggests 3 types of leaders. There's the autocratic leader, the democratic leader, and the so-called laissez-faire leader. Now let's deal with the autocratic leader. An autocratic leader is a more traditional approach to leadership. However, it's still widely used in organizations. The word autocratic suggests very forceful, very strong-willed, very determined. Managers and leaders make all decisions within a team. They don't feel it necessary to include team members. So the managers and leaders make the decisions within the team. They don't consult. They may be a part of a team, but they're not consulting the team. They make their decisions independently. And the leaders take all responsibility to achieve their goals. Leaders have all authority and control within the group. They're autocratic. That's what autocratic means. It means to be forceful. It means to be determined. They don't consult. They don't speak to others. They don't take other opinions into account. They are autocratic. They are determined and quite forceful about their views. Now there are advantages of an autocratic leader. It reduces stress for leaders as they know they are in control of a team. So the autocratic leaders don't get too stressed because they know they're in charge and what they say will happen. Team members are more likely to get the job done if they're being monitored because it prevents slacking. The team members may be worried about their security of employment when there is an autocratic leader, because they know that this leader will get rid of them. They will end their employment if they don't meet certain targets. So there's more discipline because of the autocratic leader. And there's faster decision making because only one person makes the decision. There are no committees and consultative groups. One person makes the decision and the rest follow. So it provides a smooth flow of operations. However, there are disadvantages of the autocratic leader. It's not really beneficial for long-term group development. Groups don't see any point in existing. Teamwork is not facilitated by autocratic leadership. If one person tells everyone else what to do, there's no point in having the team. There is increased workload stress for managers and leaders. People fear if they're not meeting the targets set by the autocratic leader, they're fearful that they will lose their jobs. They may fear that their promotion prospects are being jeopardized because the autocratic leader doesn't like them because of some incident or some missed target. So there's increased stress amongst the workforce. There's a demotivation of team members. They have to follow orders. There's no room for career development or opportunities. Team members just do what they're told. Their opinions are not valued. The team becomes dependent on the leader as well. They're not trained to work independently. A culture of dependency grows up. This culture of dependency means everyone looks to the autocratic leader for guidance. So the team members don't think about the work. They know if they do think about it, their opinions are not valued anyway. So they simply look to the leader for directions. Adopting this leadership style assumes that the leader has poor leadership and communication skills. So the autocratic leader, generally speaking, is bullying almost his or her opinions through because they haven't got natural leadership qualities and they've got poor communication skills. They can't get people to follow them, so they must force the people to follow them. So they don't have good leadership and they don't have good communication skills. Now let's turn to the democratic leader. This is more involved in team activities. The leader puts trust in his or her team. So there's much more discussion and much more interaction in the team and much more consultation. The leader takes decisions after consulting all the team members of the team. So the leader does make the final decision, but opinions are taken into account, and he or she will listen carefully to what members of the team have to say and try to make an informed decision based on all the opinions that have come forward. The democratic leader can also effectively delegate tasks and give team members complete control and responsibility. The democratic leader has got confidence in the group, so they've got the capacity to treat the group as competent individuals who will make good decisions and work effectively, and will take on responsibility if it's delegated to them. They encourage other members to become leaders and provide them with full training. Democratic leaders are they're good at helping along others in their career paths and develop others. So it's good for succession planning. It's It's good for the organization because when that person retires or leaves, there are others to fill the position. And also that the leader, the democratic leader, may become a mentor to certain members of staff and try and promote those members of staff because of their capacity to get the job done. So the advantages of a democratic leader, well, a positive and motivated team. That's the first outcome. The team is developed more effectively because of the democratic leader. All members in the team feel that they are valued and trusted to undertake activities. So there's a great deal of motivation within the team because they feel trusted, they feel that their contribution is worthwhile, they're being listened to. There's better decision making as decisions are carefully analysed. The democratic leader takes in different viewpoints and will make better decisions as a consequence. It's not just one person making a decision because that decision may be a bad decision, may be wrong. Whereas taking in several different points of view means a better decision may emerge. There's a smooth flow of logistics and operations because of the motivation, because of the organizational skills, and because the democratic leader is able to tap into all the different talents and functions and abilities of the team. They're able to get a better organization and smooth logistics, smooth production, smooth delivery, better operations. And the fact that people are being consulted means more creative thinking can take place. So they feel like there is an opportunity to come up with ideas and speak openly about the ideas, even if the ideas are not accepted or not seen as mainstream. There could still be discussion about the ideas, and it may spark off some extra bit of creativity within the organization, perhaps a variation on the product or a new way of producing something or delivering something. So it does encourage creative thinking. It develops a good working relationship and effective communications within the team. And that's important. It's important to have good working relationships. It's important that people like going to work, otherwise there'll be high absenteeism, high staff turnover, poor communications, and generally it's not a nice place to work. So it increases employee retention. Now the disadvantages of a democratic leader, well, miss opportunities because decision making takes more time, it takes a long time. Consultation does take time. Consultation means that the team must be called together, there might be meetings and follow-up meetings and discussions, and it takes time. So quick decision making is not promoted by the democratic leadership style, which means opportunities may be missed. They may have come and gone. Problems may occur in activities if team members are not experienced enough or do not have the required skills. Not everybody in the team may be skilled. Not everybody in the team may have the same motivation. Teams can be highly heterogeneous, which means that there might be issues within the team. There might be problems in team working, personality problems and conflicts. And all of this comes down to the fact that perhaps the team they don't share the same goals or the same objectives, and they don't have enough experience to enable them to get over those issues and work together effectively as a team. the leader is not fulfilling his or her role as a leader if he or she is too involved in group discussions. That should be TOO. If the leader is constantly in meetings and constantly discussing issues with the group, perhaps that person is not effectively being a leader. Perhaps they are more of a facilitator, trying to get more agreement than making decisions. The laissez-faire leaders, well, this type of leader gives full control to team members. This means the leader delegates to the team members full control. The team members are left independent to complete the task, the role and the responsibilities on time. So it's a strange form of leadership, because the leader simply passes everything over to the workers to achieve on time. Gives them, if you like, the parameters within which they must work, the deadlines and the resource packages and so on, and then asks them to complete it on time. There's no guidance from the leader. Could leave team members confused and demotivated. So the team members may feel that there's nobody to turn to. If there's a problem or an issue, they're really on their own. The laissez-faire leader just is not involved. So it's not really a leader in that sense. Now the advantages of this, well, it's only effective if team members are skilled, experienced and trained to fully complete the task. It's okay if the team have got good skills and they're able to work effectively as a team. They don't need the leader. But if there are issues within the team, inexperiences perhaps, or new members of staff, they may wish to have someone to turn to. Employees are motivated as they're in charge and have responsibility to complete the task. The employees certainly feel very independent and feel very valued by this and trusted. So it's good for morale, because the workers are able to get on with the job and they feel like they are being trusted. The disadvantages of the laissez-faire leader, well, no reward, no praise, feedback provided by the leader. The leader in this case simply expects the work to be done. They expect the work to be done on time and to a certain quality. So that's what is expected. So why have reward? Why have praise? Team members may feel demotivated if they don't have guidance. People like to have some degree of guidance. We don't like complete anarchy. We don't like complete freedom. We like to have some sort of guidance. We work as a team. If we work as a team, we need coordination. We need focus. We need direction. So some sort of involvement might be valued. If there's no leader keeping track of performance, there's the possibility of members slacking, not applying themselves fully, not trying hard, because nobody's watching them, so they don't feel that they need to apply themselves very much. It could suggest that the leader is doing this because he or she doesn't have the ability to be a leader, or perhaps they're unaware of their responsibilities. Now, choosing the right leadership style. Well, this factor depends on the manager, which is the background of the manager, the personality type, the experience, the values, the qualifications, the ethics, the culture. So the right leadership style depends on many factors. It's not a simple case of studying for a business degree and becoming a business leader. There are many more complex issues in play. The employees or team members, well, for them, individual personality, working culture, how best employees respond. And in looking at the leadership style in the context of employees, well, how are the employees motivated? How are they guided? What controls are there in play to ensure that there is the right amount of effort put in without being oppressive, without being seen as a bully? So what's the working culture? Does it foster good relationships, and does it foster good long-term relationships? And the right leadership for the organization. Well, what's the organization's morals or values and traditions? What does the organization believe? What sort of business does it want? Does it want just profit, and the welfare of the workers is not that important? And that's not seen as very ethical. Or does it want to have a nice community atmosphere where the welfare of the workers is very important, but profits may not be that much? And if profits are down, there may be a possibility of the business going out of business. So there are issues. And the right leadership style is really a balance between all of these. All leaders are different and have different personalities. That's what we know. Leadership styles must be adapted to complement an organization and its members. So the leadership styles should fit the organization, the type of organization. It should look at the welfare of the workers and look at the time constraints for particular tasks, and look at the jobs to be done. Look at the working environment. Look at the incentives people have to meet the tasks that they've been asked to take on. Successful leadership styles must motivate the employees to perform to the best of their ability and provide opportunities for career progression. That's the best way to have a sustainable business, a business which will go into the future because it'll have a dedicated workforce, a workforce that enjoy working for the business, they relate to the business, they empathize with the aims and objectives of the business, and they're prepared to put in effort to ensure the continuance of the business because they themselves like to be there. So that's some views on leadership styles. The upshot of it all is that leaders are different and have different personalities. So there is not one overwhelming key management style that's most effective. It must be tweaked according to the situation in which the manager or the leader finds him or herself. That's all I'm going to do in this session, so I'm going to leave it at that and say thank you for watching.